The next step is to actually clear the values as we are. If we click on vowels, we should only see vowels being highlighted. Click on constant, only constants to be highlighted, and to click on clear, and should clear everything back to be normal. So what I want to do, let's go back here in the process, and let's just change a couple of things here. Let's put the declaration of this particular element right here. And what I'm going to do here is just put this code here also, and we're going to hard code this on the outside of the loop to be ABC. And if you remember, ABC is this class right here, which has no background color, therefore it will be white by default. And let's just show you what happened when we do that. If we reload this now, and I click on vowel, notice that the vowels are highlighted. Let's click on constant. Notice only the constants are highlighted, and everything else now is white. And now let's click on clear, and now it clears everything else. Now the reason this is working right now is by default, we're setting this up to clear it all the time by saying ABC. Now the only time that this portion will get executed now if this evaluates to true. Okay, so that's the reason it's working. And if we click on clear, what happens? Clear is neither one of these guys. Therefore, which button will be is dummy. When it runs is dummy here, is dummy will return false. Therefore, this will never get done. Okay, because if it doesn't return anything valid, explicitly return a true, it will evaluate to false. That's why this is never getting done. But as you're iterating, what you're doing is you're clearing this up because you're setting up every div tag now contain ABC. So this is what this will do. This is the logic that will switch it back and forth between true and false. So let's actually just look at it in slow motion real quick, just in case you don't believe me. Let's go back to JavaScript mode here. Let's start it off with process. And let's click on vowel so you can see what happens. If we now step over one at a time, step over, step over, step over. Notice the variables, let's pay attention. It's in ABC mode. Which function, which function. And now let us step over again. So now, which is a vowel. Vowel also, we're in vowel mode now. Let's put a breakpoint here so we can stop within the for loop. Let's step over. And the letter we're getting now out of inner HTML is A. Remember, A is a vowel, so let's step over, step over. Now, which function are we going to run? If you look at the which function, it says we're going to run is vowel. So what we'll do here is, since I want to see what's going on inside of this function, let's do a step into. So that's over here. We're going to step into. See, notice it takes us to is vowel. And let's just go through it one at a time. Let's step over, step over. It got down here. It's returning a true. We'll step over. In fact, I could do it here. Step over, step over. And now because it returned a true, it's allowing me to go into inside of this logic here. Mode contains vowel. It'll place the vowel class in there. And if we step over one more time, notice that now it's an A. Let's step over one more time so you can see it work for constant mode. So if I step over now, I'm sorry, it's actually going to just, right now we're still in vowel mode all the time until we get to the letter B. So what I'm going to do here, let's break it here. Let's run it all the way. And now that one's done. Now, let's actually try it for B. So let's click here. I'll put the breakpoint back here. Let's do constant. If we step over now, look what mode we're in. We're in constant mode. Let's step over, step over, step over. This is constant, and you're going to run the isConstant function. So let us step over again. Step over, step over, step over. This should be false the first time. Stepped over, good. Because that's the letter A it's representing. Let's step over. Now we're getting the letter B. So if I step over now, let's step into, and notice that this is running the isConstant function. So remember, if you remember, the isConstant is the opposite of isVowel. So if we say step into, let's step into where isConstant, but isConstant calls isVowel. So let's step into one more time. So let's keep going. Step over, and this is going to return a false. A false that is not a vowel. That's true. But that false now will get returned to this logic right here, which say not false is a true. So then step over, and now this logic will get executed because now it is true. Step over, notice now this is gray. And now if we continue with this loop, I'll say resume. It should make everything else gray and white out everything else. And that's it with this logic. So I'm hoping that cleared up what we did on Saturday. And with that, good luck and good coding. All right, and if you have any questions or comments, put it on the YouTube video, and I'll try to answer it maybe in a follow-up video, or just answer up in the questions itself. All right, with that, good luck and good coding.